Hate YouTube ads? You need this Chrome extension. I feel like I just found a Google cheat code. This Chrome extension...
Hello, everybody. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? Look.
Hate YouTube ads? You need this Chrome extension. I feel like I just found a Google cheat code. This Chrome extension...
We have another interesting week ahead of us. It's going to be a good one.
Can you all hear me?
Just kind of
see me?
set the mood a little. I don't even know how loud that is. There we go. So, now that we got everything rolling up and ready to go, we have quite the stream here today. I have to tell you. Let me grab one little thing here before we start up. This way I can kind of hear what's going on too, you know? Put that in. Okay. So how's everybody doing today? Now, did you hear that, or did you hear there was like an additional thing, okay? Right? And it showed up here. Now, did you hear that, or did you hear there was like an additional thing? Let me see something here real quick. Gotta turn this off. Boop. Okay. So there was this other thing that apparently was found. Renuva, yeah. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. I'm just glad to see everybody here today. Oh, so I wanted to now some of this information here I knew about, but some of the things today that we're going to be presenting were actually sent to me by one of the channel members, a longtime fan of the channel, I have to say, Hijao Lanyit. He's many times provided me information in the past, but he sent me something here today that was kind of had everything that we know so far nicely organized, if you will. So I figured today what we could kind of get into is more of what is inside of all the stuff on the website. I mean, last week, whenever we did it, we certainly got into, how to get everything, right? I wish it wouldn't have redone everything, but I gotta restore these files. Let me just put everything back. Well, you did a wonderful thing. I'm not gonna lie. That the document that you sent just has everything very nicely organized, which made it so much easier, just like as far as stream of conscious and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Did I pull it up? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just going to kind of try to get through everything real quick. to get everything back on the page, because like last time we kind of already knew that. So it is good to see everybody. Now, while we're getting to this, just kind of quickly, that thing that I was talking to you about, we can listen to this in the background. This was actually something that, as I read about, there is some discussion on whether or not it has any correlation to anything that was actually like story related, or if this is just a file that was sent out mistakenly. I'll let you hear it. I didn't get a lot of time with this, but there are words within Crudalore, huh? Well, we'll have to get to a lot of this stuff. This is going to be a big, long year. It might just be, let me put up the... How's that? Is that any better for the sound of the stream? Well, I think a lot of people actually thought, Doge, that Quincy, or Cyto9, or whatever his name is now, was going to be said proto-frame, if you will, the Rhino proto-frame, but didn't quite work out that way. Oh, you know what? This is probably better because there's something else that music's too loud now. Got it. Boop. All right. So, anyway, getting back to this, there is something new going on in this particular area here. Apparently, this wasn't here last time. I didn't notice this. Dynamite 9? No, I do not know that one. I can look into it, though. It's basically says, wash away deception, reveal the truth below the surface. And it says, welcome to the search, fellow truth seeker. Whatever your reasons and whatever info you hunt, welcome to the Drip Squad. Help us cut through the lies and spread the facts with the power of modern technology. Just remember, the Drip Squad doesn't lie, cheat, or steal unless someone deserves it. The real Drip Squad solves life's great riddles with brains and not brute force. The journey is the destination, fellow dripster. So I don't believe that was there the last time. And I think, if I read this correctly, this one just goes, the recruit just goes directly to Warframe's Discord. I should probably join that. I'm not going to do it right now. By the way, for those asking, I am on the Siege Discord, or D-Siege Discord again. I was on there today a little bit. I was just kind of surveying the scene, if you will. But anyway, I need to get this decryptor again. Is the music tolerable in the back? I've actually, like I said, I've never actually been on it. Okay, cool. What is it? Oh, my keyboard is going to make this really difficult. There's that one. their new tour. It's a lot of takeout, muses DJ ROM. When we're on the move, it's always there for us. Packet insists that tacos beat pizza any day. They're entitled to their opinions, Zeke smirks, a known lover of big bites himself. Hard Drive is the first to jump in when we ask about girls. Dude, who doesn't love girls? They're so rad. Thank you, women, he shouts, flexing a bicep. A picture-perfect shot. We gotta show love to the ladies, no question, Drillbit adds. They keep us inspired. Do any of them have lucky ladies? That's a secret, says DJ ROM. Hard Drive winks. Is that a yes? Who knows? Maybe their next muse will be one of you. All eyes have been on Lyne since their first hit, Running Late. Packet tells us he first realized they were famous when he was recognized at the grocery store. I was out buying a Pep Cola Clear when someone asked me to sign their CD, he shared. I couldn't believe they were starstruck by me. The boys love their fans, but their supercharged rise to fame has taken some getting used to. I'm grateful for all the love, says Zeke, running a hand through his perfectly styled hair. But I kind of miss going outside without dodging camera flashes, you know? The internet is wild, says DJ ROM. About On Lyne's message as a band. The tech is developing every day. There's so many ways to connect, and our music is all about riding that wave. There's a moment of quiet with nods all around. When Drillbit speaks up, I just want this all to mean something. He concludes with a smile. What we do goes way beyond the tracks, the crowds, the tours. I'm trying to create something that lives on long, long after we're gone. Don't worry, boys. We already know you're unforgettable. Yeah, so that was the first thing I was thinking. I really, really would like to hear Running Late because I very much enjoy Part of Your Life. So I think I hope they have a whole album because I really do think that it's going to be great. But what's interesting is obviously you can see certain little things are marked with what appears to be a pink highlighter, right? Now let's see. Apparently the user Kasky figured out that if you take all the words together, or all the letters together, right, and rearrange them, you are going to get cacophony. And for those, there you go, cacophony. So there is, I believe, everything that we have available to us at the moment, right? Oh yeah, the coffee stain. March of 1999. Isn't that what that says? No, wait. Yeah, I guess that would be the lead up to it. So that kind of makes sense. Oh, do you think the coffee stain is a smile? Is that what that is? Because it's kind of a crooked smile too. That's the first time I noticed that. That was a good catch. Yeah, it's absolutely meant to be that. I mean, now isn't that just a wonderful thing for DE to do? I mean, after all, they are part of the propaganda, right? That's crazy. So, today, I think what's important is to actually go over what's in all this information, right? Because we didn't really do that last time. We kind of briefly went over it. Shame you can't open these anymore. Can I do that? I guess you can't do the help thing now, unfortunately. So, so what we essentially have here now. Okay, first of all, before we go any further, I think it's important to understand that I saw something. I don't necessarily know if it's supposed to be what this person's saying, but I wanted to bring it up at least. And you can judge for yourself. I kind of disagree here, but I can see where they're coming from, and it does make sense. So I think most know that if you keep shutting this thing off, an image will show up, right? Okay, you see it for like just the briefest of seconds, you know. But that's essentially what the image is. So there's a light here, and there is the figure of Major Nisi Ruzalka. All right. And I think, right, that you could make the legitimate, conclusion that essentially she's the one who's, kind of putting, or this is, her computer in some way, or that she's on the other side of the image, if you will. And I think there is something to that, especially with especially the light would give that illusion. The only problem I have with that concept is if you look up her photo from even from the what do you call it, from the trailer. My problem with this whole the idea that this is her is that technically this is the same image that's on the trailer. So the idea that she's holding the exact same pose like all the time says to me that that's kind of a red herring, if you will. I mean, it's identical to the way that she looks in this one, like the trailer image for it. And to me, that's just, I don't know. Yeah, if you, so as far as data mine content is concerned, I would say if it's related to what we're talking about here, absolutely you can share it. But if it's going to spoil something for Warframe 1999 story specifically, I would hold off. But again, to me, that just seems like a. Would you say it's a major story spoiler as far as her thing is? Because if it is, yeah, I would say don't do it. Because I obviously she's going to have some kind of significance. Special significance outside of any of the other of the group. You know, so yeah, I would just hold off. I think data mining should be allowed. The only thing is I just don't know if it should necessarily be put out in a situation where it's enticing for people that, especially that don't know they're about to see something. Like if you just put stuff out there without any type of spoiler things or anything else like that, and it just kind of ruins it for people unknowingly. I don't like that. But if you put it out in a way that it's like, hey, look, because there's a lot of people that might want to see that, quite frankly, they don't want to. They may not even play the thing, but they're just interested in figuring out what happens next. Or it's possible that something that they see within data mine content may actually force them into, you know, wanting to play the content. Yeah, I think the same thing. I believe the same thing there, Kirby man. Is that what it is? This thing we saw on Discord? But yeah, just kind of going back to it, I think that's what it is that it's meant to imply that they're watching. Jeez, I don't know. Yeah, and again, I'm of the mind that people should be able to decide for themselves. You know, if you don't want to spoil, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch the content. That's why, again, if you do it, I think it should be heavily, make sure everybody knows, hey, this is spoilery stuff. So if you don't want it, you should get out of here now. But yeah, like I said, as far as long as it's not killing the story off, that's the main thing. I don't want to be spoiled either, because I think this will probably be the first time I've ever done a new major quest on stream. This will be the first year. Okay. I knew it. I said that. I said that right away. I said that right away. You go back to the original video from the 1999 reveal, and I actually said that exact thing, which is amazing because it made perfect sense. So that makes me feel pretty good, actually. Nice. Well, I mean, I think it makes sense now, but I don't know if it made sense right away. I mean, we didn't know that the Scouger were going to have any type of association with the proto frames at all. And I don't think that's going to be the only one either. I think we're going to find some other people that are going to have their own Gemini skins potentially. But yeah. But let's get to this thing here. Because Saren's the best. She's my favorite. Her and Revenant. With Dante, he's like right there. But anyway, let's get to this. Has anybody basically figured out who any of these people are? Or think they do, at least. The war crime frame. I mean, I guess technically she is. Well, they probably are. And she's so wonderful. So let's just go through all of this real quick, and then we can kind of get an idea of the complete story. Because I think now that we have up to number 3, right? On the paper dot kine or kin or however you want to say it, I think we can get a pretty good idea of what's happening here. So first thing, the cleavage gives DPS. It probably does. So we got Letterbomb, and he says, "Did you guys hear about this doctor guy?" And Socket, the grammar Nazi, had to come in and say, "Here." Letterbomb's like he's like the super scientist or whatever. I heard he's got a cure. Odyssey says, "Who are we talking about?" And then there's Dead Boy, who just kind of gives a little facey emoji there. Dr. Friday. No, you mean Dr. Intrati. How have you not heard of him? He's all over the net. Aren't they the same guy? Well, not really all over, but if you know where to look. Whoa, you take that pic yourself? You met him in person? Laughed my ass off. Posers, don't act like you guys know something special. You brought it up, dude. So, Socket, where do you think... Am I winning? Where do you think this person, or who took this image? I don't know if there is a file 6 yet. I don't think it's been released. I know it's available, or I mean, I know it's in the files. No, but you know what? I'm gonna have to look into the Dark Sector Zero Comic 2. Apparently, we are playing on stream Dark Sector. It'll be every Wednesday now. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So that we're gonna get the story of that one together, and then I'll probably have to put something else. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Well, the good thing is with the stream, you can always come back and listen at some point. Still locked by code. Okay, cool. Okay, so like I said, the significance of this passage here has to be in the fact that either they found this image on the web or on the net, or they took it themselves. I think it's going to be noon on Wednesday, I believe. I can actually post a link to that. Yeah, and we'll be doing that. We'll be doing it every Wednesday now. See if that works. Oh, you know what? Let me do this one instead. So that'll be that one. So we'll get the full story of Dark Sector through both playing it and then after the fact. I'll look into this comic book too. Oh, it's Warframe's lore just keeps getting thicker and thicker. So that's my whole thing is like, there's only so many people who could have taken this image. But it does make me curious about the positioning of Intrati, or I mean of Kalimos's gaze at that part. Um, are they looking at the person who took this photo? I mean, again, how did they do it? I don't know. No, I have not. I'm not good with that sort of thing. I've been basically doing what I can and searching on certain things for uh, different clues. Palm 2. I suppose that, excuse me, that's probably something to consider. But I would say the man in the wall having some kind of socket. I mean, he is the one that knows. Huh. Let's keep that in mind. That's true, but at the same time, lest we not forget that Lloyd also says that the murmur was the one who disrupted the transference stream. Let's go to part 2. Well, I mean, in some ways, I love the fact that there are people out there that can go and do this sort of thing. Because if it weren't for some of these devs that actually, have the know-how to understand, or, how one would even get to this sort of thing and then retrieve it and then, present it in a way that, can be encrypted or whatever, is a huge deal for most of us who probably can't do that, right? Palm 2 is the actual computer, is that old computer that's down at the bottom of the sanctum. So let's do this next part here. Yeah, it's absolutely that pic, right, or that scene, but it's interesting in that who would have taken that photo? I mean, I don't think Arthur, before he was kind of sitting there, unless he has like a camera like built into the bad eye, which I guess is possible. But who would have taken that photo? So let's get to number 2 here. Letterbomb says, "Holy crap, guys! Did you just hear that it was like an actual roar, but like weird? I don't know, weird." Then Dead Boy gives a, "Oh no." Odyssey, "How should we know? It's not like we know where you live." Letterbomb says, "I think it came from under the street, like in the sewer or something. You must have heard it." There's Socket here, just logging on now. I heard it too, folks, of course. Oh, Lua, no, Mothership here says, "Oh, Lua, something is seriously wrong around here." Letterbomb says, "It was so loud, I'm going to go check it out and I'll try to take a picture." Odyssey says, "Dude, what? Are you crazy?" Mothership says, "That's a terrible idea." Socket says, "You still there, LB?" Odyssey says, "This isn't funny." Mothership says, "Hello?" And then Letterbomb, well, their message gets deleted on the authority of Scaldra, according to Section 21.c of the Emergency Powers Information Access Act. Thank you for your cooperation. What in soul's name is that? That could explain the pic. But what do you think was the thing that they were referring to, though? That this sound that came from under the street, like an actual roar. Is this where we're going to get our proto-rhino? Or is it going to be that thing who we fight in like one of the first like bosses of Dark Sector that looks sort of like Rhino but isn't? Let's move on to barricade. I wonder if any of this stuff is important. I don't know. Odyssey says, this place is so totally dead right now. Socket says, that's not funny. Odyssey says, wait, what? There's nothing to do. Can't even rent a movie. All the good stuff is totally cleaned out. Socket says, don't know what you expect when everybody is trying to get out of town right now. Everybody who isn't trapped inside. Dead Boy says, well, he doesn't really say anything. Just gives a queer look. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, Mothership says, what's that supposed to mean? Socket says, they're stopping people from crossing the bridges now, both ways. Mothership says, be serious. Socket says, it's true. Those new guys with that nasty green stuff aren't messing around either. So this is the, what's it called in this one? Effervon? Because it's almost the same thing in Dark Sector, but not. It's just slightly off as far as the name. I saw somebody try to slide their Tommy through the tunnel traffic, and one of their big dudes just clotheslined them right off. Off their bike? With his bare hands. Now who's joking around? Maybe they're the ones who took Letter Bomb. Oh crap, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. So I don't necessarily know that this Socket person is, let's see, Socket. I don't know. What are the names of the, what are the names of packet hard drives? I don't know. I was trying to see if there was any kind of correlation between like this being the beginning of when the online boys were kind of, let's say, integrated into the system. But I don't. So what we're trying to accomplish here is to figure out exactly what is happening. On the surface, it definitely just looks like typical citizens who most likely are trying to get out of town. Oh, what's the universal formula? That sounds awesome. I'm getting off track. So, like I said, I do really do think this on the surface appears as just people who maybe are, in town, maybe have been infected in some way by the infested. Stop doing that. It may be a situation where this might be the only, possible way of being able to speak if everybody's quarantined inside their homes, which, to be honest, the demo did kind of look, you know what I'm saying? In that regard, it did look like that. We can see all the good stuff is totally cleaned out. Now that's interesting because we kind of saw what the mall looks like, and it's not really great. So I don't know. I'm wondering if there isn't some. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Amir allude to some kind of event that he may have been responsible for that kind of messed things up? If I can't completely remember that. But I'm curious if, like, some other thing that we're going to find out about, because clearly we're only getting little snippets so far of the 1999 campaign, and I'm not even 100% certain that what we've seen is like the beginning of it. Like, it could be the middle portion, it could be towards the end. We really don't know. So we may end up coming to find that this is kind of a couple months before, and one of the other reasons I say that is because of the paper here is actually, it looks like this is in March of 1999, so this would be earlier in the year. And because we're getting the seasons, right? I'm assuming that we'll start. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I should turn off that. That is a smart idea. I'm assuming because we're getting the seasons, right? It might start off like in, January, February, and move around the year to get the 4 seasons. And we may see what ended up happening to the citizens, or what happened to the city that essentially it closed everything off for good, like this major event. Well, but then again, you have to consider too what the hex, what do they find dangerous? I mean, they throw themselves into battle constantly, right? Like Warframes, they might not consider an explosion or something like that big of a deal. It's very possible that the seasons come after the quest. That's absolutely possible. But as of now, we can still speculate, The code names are. We can pull it up real easy here. So Letty's Belladonna. Amir is Jitter. Arthur is Broadsword. Owie is Chopper. Eleanor is Salem. And Quincy is Stepper. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's probably plenty, but, like, come on. Oh, look at that. That's all I'm saying. So, let's go to the part 4 here. Questions. So, Socket says, "Hey, Letterbomb, you there?" Mothership says nothing. Dead Boy says still nothing. Socket says, "Figured it was worth a shot. Gotta keep trying. Gotta keep trying something. Let me get a little water here." Odyssey says, "This can't be real. It's like a marketing thing." Mothership says, "How is this a marketing thing?" Odyssey says, "Like a movie thing, like an ad for that new horror movie." Socket says, "I heard whatever LB heard." Odie. Odyssey says, "You don't know Wit was the same thing. Wonder why they're having problems with their text now. Socket says, there were more of those Scouger guys with weird guns in my neighborhood the next day. Letterbomb says, this user has been suspended on the authority of Scoudra, according to Section 21.c of the Emergency Powers Information Access Act. Thank you for your cooperation. Mothership says, well, that's new. New user, Lord Saberwolf, has entered the chat. And they say, hey, everybody. I'm hoping you can maybe help me find my sister. I know that she used chat rooms for local residents like this one. Have any of you had contact with the person in this photograph? Deadboy says, oh, hey, yeah. I know this person super well, actually. Mothership says, come on. Do not feed the trolls. Lord Saberwolf says, how do you know this person? Deadboy says, we used to date. Lord Saberwolf says, you did? Do you remember the last time you saw them? Can you provide details as to a specific time and location? Deadboy says, I don't think so. See, I'm a famous supermodel and I really need to keep my privacy or the paparazzi just won't stop harassing me. I told them we had to break up for their own safety. It was really heartbreaking stuff. Socket says, we didn't see anything, but we'll be sure to let you know if we do, officer. Odyssey says, I gotta go. I just can't deal with this right now. User Odyssey has left the chat, and then user Lord Saberwolf has left the chat. So, again, now this is interesting because Dead Boy claims to have dated Owie. And Socket claims to know and Trotty. But again, I have to go back that this image, it's from an ad. Where was that? One of them, it's literally like one of the ad photos for 1999. And, you know, the fact that, like, the fact that they make mention of this, hey, everybody, everybody who I didn't get a chance to say hello to, I apologize. My thing is it's just weird that they say, like, right here, it's like a marketing thing. How is this a marketing thing? And, like, this photo was an ad, was like in the thing, and then the one of Rusalka is the exact one. Hello. Good to see everybody here today. Sorry, I'm super deep in thought. Well, I mean, you would think that, but consider that in this world, DE is considered government propaganda. And we'll get to that here in a second. Put that down. I'm just going to keep these here for the time being, right? All right, let's go to breach. I don't know. There's something strange. There's like some fourth. Sorry, I had adjusted my mic. If there was so many weird sounds there, I apologize. Yeah, I mean it's. Again, in 1999, Warframe doesn't exist. Let's move further. Well, I realize it's not the same DE, but it does have some of the same people, or if nothing else, the same people exist. And one of the ways that we know this is because wait, maybe do I have it here? No, I don't have it up. Rebecca is the owner of the fan site for On Lyne. So Rebecca Ford exists she exists. Now, does she work at Digital Extremes in 1999? I don't know. That's the thing, though. And when you start to layer these different dimensions on top of each other, right? Unfortunately, like, you have to ask if, like, Dark Sector isn't just the first version. I said this in the last stream, I think, but like the concept that's kind of put forth in the newest Matrix movie is that a previous generation of the Matrix was put forth as visual propaganda for the current, iteration of it. And I'm not saying that DE is doing this here, but the fact that they've included War Sector, I mean, and even the same exact, the imagery. Oh, Mikey, good call. But when was that? That's another thing. One of the things that I don't know that we necessarily went into yet, but when Entrati comes down the steps, prior to that, and even in the demo, it would appear that we are stuck in the 11:54 minute. Now, that could be just a thing that they don't want to change it because of how long it might take for you to do the mission. But everything that happens leading up to when Entrati walks down, but also even in the piece of the demo, 11:54 is the minute that is shown. So this is either the longest minute ever, and then what's interesting is that minute ends, and then we go from 11:54, whenever when we're knocked out, to 11:59. So in that time period, we have no clue what actually occurred. Now, I went to look on that at the dev stream at the end of it.
run 2 in a row, back to back. Any closing remarks, my friends?
I need some electrolytes.
Yeah. Papa wants out of the couch.
We don't really know yet what's going to happen when Y2K starts.
Closing remarks?
Chat wanted to see the back of your jacket. Is there a design on it, or is it just the split? It's the
just
Doom,
splits.
yeah. So it's a good look. Okay, all right, very good.
They wanted to check the gap. That's what it is.
We're stealing.
We're going to be working on
We're
WARFRAME
stealing
too.
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff has already been stolen.
Oh, I definitely think Wally's unleashed.
There's nothing like a war sector. Don't worry. Just before equipment screams Albania's #1 video game company.
What I want to see... Oh, I haven't gotten the good files yet? I want some of the story to be there for it, you know, whatever.
A whole lot more.
Okay, so this is essentially where Arthur falls. This is the area where the escalator is. And what I wanted to see was if Arthur is laying there, because I'm not sure if this was before or after, but I have to think that this was potentially, I don't know. Let's find out. I don't think so. I don't think there's any. I think it was before. So with that in mind, like I said, I'm curious to know what happened within those 5 minutes. We're missing five whole minutes. Yes, Matthew, that's correct. That's another thing that'll. If you attempt to go up that escalator, this is interesting because there are other places in the game that you can't go to, but they're just blocked off in a normal way, you know, just a kind of a barrier you can't go through. But if you attempt to go up the steps, up the escalator, you will find a large amount of sand keeping you from doing that. The exact same looking thing that at the very beginning, the Whispers campaign, whenever the Indifference is speaking, and like the sand shifts. So it is cool that like right then and there you can see, and I do think that there's some kind of allusion there to that being kind of a moment in time, potentially frozen. We'll find out though. It's coarse. It's rough. It gets everywhere, though. Everybody knows that about sand. The gray strand of sand. No, not the the gray strand would be the great. Yeah, maybe that is. Oh man, I don't even think about that. Maybe that's what it is. Everything together, the void, and the infestation, the gray strand. I don't think anybody's going to like that sand. All right. Let's go and do the rest of this one. This stream shall go on for, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. Oh. it'll go on until there's nothing more to talk about today. Well, that's what it said, you know? So there are... I'm very curious to see how they end up. Let's finish this up here. Socket says, whole bottom floor of my building got taken today. Mothership says, oh, soul. Dead boy says, date? Date? Wow. Oh. Okay, okay, I see. Guess we really do know what happened to Letterbomb now. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Socket says, starting to think we should get out of here. Mothership says, obviously. Dead boy says, obviously. Glimmer says, especially with Scourger reading your messages. Socket says, yeah. Wait, what? Mothership says, I didn't see anyone new enter the chat. I can't kick them. Dead boy says, hacker. Very, very uncool. Mothership says, who are you? Glimmer says, the person in the photo. Maybe the one you got, or another just like it. Staring back at a dozen other groups just like this one. You need help. Sooner or later, they will resent you for that. My money is on sooner, since they're already watching you. But I'm watching them. Mothership says, oh, I do not like this. Socket says, me neither. Dead boy gives that facial expression again. Glimmer, that's good. Stay paranoid. Keeps you smart. You always have options. Think them over. You're circling the drain, slipping downward into the ooze like so many others. But I'm saying that you can always crawl back up instead. Stop hiding. Start seeking. There are people who can help pull you up. Socket says, what do you have in mind? Mothership says, I'm listening. Dead boy's happy. So, no, we don't know who these people are yet. I think we can speculate, but at the same time, I definitely don't believe that we can ascertain. Yeah. So it said, I mean, if you think about it, Glimmer is most likely one of these two. And I'm guessing it's Owie. That to me sounds like the more only because of the fact that she's kind of, as we understand it, the Hex are like this, you know, deep cover group, if you will. And the Scourgers appear to be the governmental group in charge, if you will. Lies and facts. Not to mention, I will say the other aspect of it is the way that this person talks. After having spoken to Owie, during the thing for TennoCon, and having listened to so much of Entrati in the way he speaks, I would absolutely say that this is, you are late, cool dude. I would say that this is probably Owie. Unless we're going to find that there's another file with another photo. And I mean, I think, couldn't you say that, like, Glimmer, doesn't that kind of sound within her Aui's wheelhouse as far as how she is. You know, I would say she's a little bit on the childish side, if you will. Oh, yeah, we're going to be getting into some conspiracy theories. But, I mean, they'll be just basic stuff now. It's a shame because I had this... I had the skeleton of a script pretty well written. And I was just about to get into the meat of recording it, and then the demo came out and they started with all this stuff, and now there is a bunch of stuff that really adds to what I wanted to say. So now I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want to add in there and what I think maybe isn't necessary, because there's just so much. Big Bad, we may have, let's say it's very, very possible that Rusalka and Saren are the same. I mean, it could be. We'll find out. Now, what's interesting is these files are actually kind of different than these ones. These, at least in the beginning, seem to be specifically about this Mr. or Mrs. Page, which actually is supposed to be a Sam Page, I believe, which someone said might be Steve Sinclair. I wouldn't say that that's out of the realm of thinking without in any stretch. But let's get into this first one here. Welcome.kin, whatever. Congratulations, Mr. or Mrs. Page. Your email application has been reviewed, and we are thrilled to inform you that you are a perfect fit for Digital Extremes. As one of the premier government-sponsored game developers in the illustrious nation of Holvania, we pride ourselves on employing only the best developers in any particular field. Your new role as junior programmer will provide you with the best possible on-ramp to a sterling new career through our storied halls. To that end, we would like for you to begin immediately and start work on our brand new and extremely exciting new project that you have no doubt already heard of, War Sector. You will find all pertinent details for your new role, including directions to Digital Extremes' highly advanced and secretive office location, attached to this email. An attendant will be available to help you find your new desk and begin onboarding you for your new role. Welcome to the team. Name here, Gwen Aaron, Senior Head of Human Resources. Gwen Aaron. What's Gwen Aaron? Am I saying it and I'm just not hearing it? Gwen Aaron. So, from this first one here, we can tell that this would, have to be just like essentially a completely computer generated or skeleton acceptance letter, if you will. Interesting that it made it out, unless it was intercepted before it was actually sent to anybody. But I'm going to assume that this was already sent out, especially because of the specifics of Page here. It's very strange that they would know this person's last name, but not if they were Mr. Mrs. And then they would just forget to name here altogether. But let's move on. in this first one here, lore.kin, this is where I believe we used the, what is it, Kra, Jahu, and Zata as the password. And what is that? Is that time, form, and truth? I don't necessarily know if that has any association with what we're about to read, but I do think it's interesting to at least keep that in the back of our minds to ascertain if any of those words have any meaning, within the context of what we're looking at here specifically, given that the, it was used as a method of getting this information. Wouldn't that be crazy? Man, I don't know. I don't know, the dark sector stuff, that was something. I think none of us were expecting that we would see dark sector footage within a Warframe specific, stream and assuming to be in the game. But let's get to this. So, hi Gwen. Thanks very much for the warm welcome. I'm really excited to start my first day. And so soon, too. Honestly, I couldn't believe I got hired without any interviews. Digital Extreme screening process really must be state of the art. I wonder if I can get hired there. How do you get in without even... That's for a later time. Digital Extreme screening process really must be state of the art. I guess that's what I should expect from the best in the business. I just want to check, though. Are you sure that's the right address for the office? I drove by the other day, and the place seems a lot less busy than I expected. But maybe I just have the wrong spot. Let me know whenever you can. Anyway, thanks again for the info and for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I've been trying to break into the industry for a while now, and I'm really excited to work on War Sector. I picked up the latest issue of Prime Gamer Monthly just to watch the new trailer on the demo disc. It looks absolutely awesome. Talk to you soon. Sam Page. Yeah, my next video is going to be, this is based upon what you all had requested. And it should be out in the next couple days. I would say Wednesday at the latest. I think I know what's happening. I think I get it. Now, am I right? Well, I'm going to put out what I am considering kind of a macro theory. This isn't going to have a lot of lore to it. This theory, this next video is going to be more of me trying to explain my interpretation of everything based upon every bit of data we have up to this point. Am I right? I don't know, but I think I have enough. The good thing is I can put this video out, and then after 1999, we can come back to it and see if I was right. Because, I'm going to be honest, I've actually been right about quite a few things that came with major stories. So I expect for this one to be no different, but, we'll see. Anyways, getting back to Sam Page and his very, very kind letter. Yeah, that's what I think too. It looks like Digital Extremes doesn't necessarily exist as quote-unquote human beings anymore. That it exists more as a... Now, is it tech rot or is it just tech? And the only reason I say that is because we do have the existence of something like the Palm 2. So I would assume, given what appears to be its quote unquote sentient nature, if that's the best way to describe the Palm 2, that it could run a site like this in the very same way. So I can't necessarily say for certain that this is specifically tech rot, infestation related, or if it's intrati. Yeah, DE could be AI. Exactly. So we'll have to see on that one. But let's go to the other new piece. Wouldn't that be weird if we fight like some actual... Dude, that would be awesome if Digital Extremes made bosses of each one of themselves and we got to fight them. That would be amazing. Everybody write that down and send that to them. This is their chance. This is their chance. Wouldn't that be... Oh my God, would that be cool? That every single one of the people at DE could make like a version of themselves as an infested like boss. Oh my God, that would be... I mean, it's absolutely within the confines of the lore. I don't... Yeah, like what Nier did. Would that not be just like one of the greatest things that you've ever seen in all of your life? Oh my God. I'm so excited. I think I lost track of my thinking process after that. I really did. So we have to send this to them somehow. This has to happen. This is their opportunity to do it. Ah, that would be so good. All right, I'm getting too hyped. I'm gonna calm it down. Let's get to the third one here. Another new piece. This one is Cheat. And I think I explained earlier the how we got to this particular one. It says this one here appears to be from Mr. Page again. Hey again, Gwen. Hope you're all doing well. I just want to check in since I haven't heard very much from the rest of the team yet. Actually, I haven't really heard from anyone yet. It's a bit of a ghost town here right now. Though I did see a task list waiting for me at my work computer. Really appreciate that. I've had no trouble getting oriented since it's all pretty straightforward stuff. Really, really straightforward stuff, actually. This must be some of that state-of-the-art development tech mentioned in the promotional material. It sure seems to automate a lot of the process. But I wonder if I could talk to someone about the end results. They seem a little off. Not that I want to rock the boat on my first day or anything. You're probably not the person to ask about this, but I haven't seen anyone else in the office today. I can definitely hear folks walking around and talking, at least I think. Honestly, it's just a little bit spooky. Not that I'm complaining about all the extra desk space. Is the department team on holiday or something, though? I'm probably still getting added to the mailing list, so maybe I just missed a memo. Let me know if there's any update. Sam. So, you are definitely right about the italicized words, but what I want to bring into question here, because as I was looking at it, it's like, so Sam shows up, or is accepted. Sam, kind of excited, the normal stuff. And then he's there, and work is kind of strange. right? And the way that they have this, it's like welcome, but then lore, and then cheat. And I know that they're supposed to be like associated with the passwords that you get, right? But I can't help but wonder if when we get to open speak and bite, and what was the sixth one? Who is the infested? That's old Helminth, or whoever you want to call him. But I can't help but believe that this one being called speak, this one being called bite, and I think the last one being called contact. Yeah. Makes me think that Mr. Page here is going to get to talk to them, is going to be infested, and then is going to be, you know, a portion of the contact. Hello, how are you today? We're doing some things. There's a lot of stuff that was released this week. I'm actually surprised because we went over so much last week. And is it going to be like this every week? Because I'm down for this. This is like 2 streams every week that we can just keep going with, like little updates as to where the story's headed, you know? And then I'm doing amazing. You know what, Renuva? You can't get that message to pop up once you've unlocked everything. We found that out last stream. Oh, it has been changed? Is that right? Yeah. No, I can't get it. I might have what it says, though. Let me just see here. This, if you put H in, this is what it says. But this is before you start putting passwords in, I think, or maybe it's before you do the decryptor. But if you do, this is what you'll see. Now, the thing is, oh, it used to say we have to put something here to look for professional. Really? Okay. Now, we still have some things here that are blocked out. I'm curious to see when those are going to come. But like I said, what we essentially have here is 2 separate stories. And I'm desperate to see what these next 3 are going to say, because I don't think Mr. Page is well, I think the enemies are in the walls there. Do you know what I'm saying? I really do. Yeah, so we've been kind of talking about it. We do believe Saren's going to show up. I have to believe that Rhino's going to be in there at some way. I have to believe Rhino's going to be in there. Or maybe I want to believe it. Maybe it's both. It's tough to say.
Defend the galaxy from Drippy. Coming back.
And I still want to know why. This is interesting to me, too. Why? Now, let's just... I don't know, did we ask ourselves something here? And it's very important. In this scene, the kinematic on Lyne is already infested. Right? So does that mean that this one is too? I mean, again, it just goes so deep. Like, you have that thing right there where it's like, okay, infestation associated with this computer program, without question. I mean, it's right there, right? So what then makes it worse is we've already started to see in Warframe things just kind of occur, if you will, right? The thing in our orbiter, Kylie listening to Party of Your Lifetime, and given that we see this and this, wait, let me do it again. So this, do we have any concern that this Ask Lloyd is tied to our Lloyd in some way? Not the human version, but the construct. Is there a possibility of any type of corruption? Well, I'd be down for a cowgirl program. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that Mace all the way. That would be cool. Like, where did they get her from? You mean you hope Roboloid can't access the PC? Oh, wouldn't that be weird? True. But I guess my question is it possible, too, that our Lloyd is running off of the same, let's say, framework that Ask Lloyd was made off of? Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, we're already seeing the aspects of 1999 show up in the current Warframe timeline. And we've already kind of seen where this tie between the infestation and the void is starting to make its presence felt. Yeah, like a backdoor. Because after all, my question to you would be this. Here's the thing I would ask. Why? Why make it so necessary to show these screens? That's the only point behind this scene. I mean, there wouldn't be any real reason to just show some random infested walking across here in such detail. Especially given that it's here, here, and here. No, this is the place where we talk to Entrati. I shouldn't say that, where Entrati met Arthur. I'm sorry, why not what? Oh. Well, that's my whole thing. Is it a random infested? That's the kind of the point. Like, this thing was included specifically. So this information is at the very end of DevStream 182. The DevStream kind of... Let me go back to normal. Just to show it in its...
Jeff has already been stolen.
Download your best cyber. There's nothing like a war sector. Don't worry. Just before equipment streams Albania's #1 video game company. A whole lot more. Why not more?
Oh, yeah.
Defend the galaxy from Trippy for coming back. What? Using state-of-the-art technology. War Sector coming winter 2000 from Digital Extremes.
Keep trucking on that.
So, the thing is, we kind of know something is up with the game itself, too. Right? Where was that thing at? Oh, no, it was in the second one, yeah. Yeah. Okay, this must be some state-of-the-art development tech mentioned in the promotional material. It sure seems to automate a lot of the process. But I wonder if I could talk to somebody about the end results. They seem a little off. So, essentially what we're doing here is promoting a game that has some kind of, according to Sam at least, an undesirable input. Or output, I mean. Oh, you know what? I didn't. Let's see. No. No. Did everybody go through and like do the... Is it Mesner or Menzer? I can't remember. I think it's Mesner. Is it Mesner? Menzer? No, I think it's Mesner. Yeah, and so we do have all those different groups, but we don't know who's on whose side. It would be weird. I mean, oh, I hope Ballast comes back. I know people are going to hate me for saying that. Ballast gets so much hate, deservedly. But there's one person this community loves to hate. It's that guy, man. You don't screw with Space Mom. So there's these other things here. I don't necessarily know. You know what? Yeah, let's do these. I hope I'm saying this right. Rojun, is that the where that we get the three keys? There's the Kra, Jahu, and Zata. I think that's where that comes from. Oh, the Ballast is an amazing villain. Press A with check mark. Oh yeah, yes. So that's how you got, I think, lures. It was to uncover. Wait, see wait. Is there more? Am I missing something? Yeah. Each one of these together will give you the three keys. So essentially what it is it comes out to be was it truth? Time, form, and truth. That's a good question. You know what? This search engine sucks. Here's a question for all of you in the chat. What happens to a person's doppelganger if the person themselves dies? Yeah, this is an interesting question, isn't it? So, for those of you that believe that the entity moves on in any way, be it takes over or it just continues to live, right? How certain are we that Alberton Trotty is still alive? Which page do you want me to check? Yeah. I actually thought if you go back to way back to my old videos, I never thought that this ballast was the real one. Cat in the box paradox. Cat in the box paradox. That's an interesting thing, given that it was used in Warframe specifically. Hello, how are you, Hawkblade? That's there you go, Renuva. Albrecht is both alive and dead. So crazy, right? Oh, I see what you wanted to do. I'm not even going to get into all that. I don't know enough about that to do it. I'm not looking like a complete moron. Have a good day. So I still think I think I don't want to say too much. I'm going to give too much off of the Drifter is very important. The Drifter is extremely important. Even in my little theory video that's coming out, the Drifter is very much the key, if you will. But you have to think. I believe you have to consider the Warframe timeline in a completely different manner. And I think the key comes in the inclusion of what we've been shown so far about War Sector. I mean, you know, the other question that I think that we never really ask, right, is because Albert himself has asked it a bunch of times. Did his original person ever even come out of the void? He's certainly not sure, so I don't see how we could be. God Slayer, God Eater. Yeah, I think that's where. I think we're definitely we're definitely headed in a particular way. And like I said, now I'm getting to the point where we're starting to cut into this video that I'm going to be doing. I'm super excited about it. It's especially with the stuff that I've been able to add. it was kind of like a blessing from DE that they had just so happened to have that dev stream right after it, because oh my goodness, did it add some stuff. Are we the only ones with Origin Twin and Paradox Self? I actually think, well, okay. Here's what I'll say about the Origin Twin and Paradox Self. Ask yourself, is the important question, do we have it? Or is the important question, was it done like that by intelligent design or by coincidence? I just think, based upon what we've already been shown, and I'll kind of go back to it, you know, the fact that we are seeing things happen in real time within the Warframe universe that by all rights shouldn't. Like, think about this. If 1999 is just another dimension, right? Or even time, with a branching, like it's its own thing. Why are things from that time showing up in our time? I think this kind of goes back to what I was saying in one of my videos earlier, that it appears, at least to me, that the Warframe timelines, that'll be something that I'll be getting into, the Drifter and his paradox, in this video. You'll see, but I think it looks like the way that the Warframe timelines work is like this. It isn't different dimensions. There aren't different dimensions. There is a singular, what I would consider a linear timeline, but you can dance along this timeline if you know how to get to different places. So you can move earlier in time, like Entradi's doing. But when you do something in the past, that directly affects the current future as well. The question is, to what degree? Because, like, when you look at it from that perspective, if you really want to get, like, if we're really talking about being logical, every little move in the past would change the present because of the the butterfly effect. Little things, you not taking the bus here would change the path of everything. Just with that in mind, things would just, it would be changing consistently. So there's some method by which it's almost like, at least in the current situation, pieces of 1999 are leaking their way into the current time. Almost like something is holding them back, but it's starting to, like Back to the Future, like the original Back to the Future, not Back to the Future 2. And I'm just going to throw this part of it out there, and then I'm not going to talk anymore about my video. What if the Tenno and the Drifter didn't happen at the same time? What if the Drifter was chosen because of his or her unique abilities, and that was the method by which the chosen operator was created? Meaning that literally, like, you had one timeline and then somebody went back and changed something else, potentially, but you had a timeline where the Zariman went, the void jump accident occurred, but there was no man in the wall. At that point, either the Drifter created Duviri, or Duviri was already created and the Drifter was allowed access to it for a very specific reason. And that would be to be trained. But that's all I can give. okay, so Big Bad. Here's the reason. There is a very, very, very small piece of dialogue. I believe the same thing, that Duviri was, the Drifter's deal. The Drifter created it through, their innate ability with the void. But there is a line in Albrecht's notes that says that the voices that he heard in Duviri, that Albrecht heard in Duviri, were voices that he himself had used with Euleria when she was a child. Okay? Meaning that somehow, how would the Drifter have been able to hear Entradi's mannerisms to make the voices within Duviri? That's the thing. Again, that's what I'm starting to think, that Duviri was created by Euleria, and the Drifter used the book to get there. Again, it's, but the book wouldn't have voices in it. Yeah, but see, that's so that's you can have two different interpretations. No, he said that he heard voices that he'd used with, using the exact voices that he'd said. I thought that was what it said. Let me look that up. Maybe I'm wrong. No, here it is right here. In Duviri, I woke every day to the voice of my daughter. I recoiled from this at first, feeling the sting of conscience. I could not confront, even in semblance, the woman I had abandoned. Instead, I reinvented myself as a teacher, advising the Child King of the menace beyond his borders. But as the days melted away, I came to recognize the strange cast of characters Euleria had created and their purpose. I heard voices I had myself first conjured in the darkness of her childhood chambers, for no other reward than her delight. He was reading her a book. He was, I shouldn't say, not reading her book. He was acting out the stories for her, making these voices for her, and these were the voices that he heard within Duviri. So how would the Drifter know those voices? Not to mention, he even says, like, this whole place, that's what he says, this place, she had only preserved the gift. She had made it into an instrument of healing, more a stronghold. That's what Duviri was. But again, even if that's the case, then that would mean that the Drifter did not necessarily create Duviri. Yes, even if Euleria would read her own book to the children of Zermatt, she would not be able to have Albrecht's voice to do it. Yes, Albrecht did go into the void and went to Duviri. Yep. Which again, kind of, when you think about this, it's well, I mean, let's put it this way. We know that Euleria, so she's been at the wall multiple times. She knows everything about the void. And again, the way that this, I'm going to just say this too. I actually think we may end up finding out that Euleria was more integral to void discovery than Albrecht was. I think he was the first one in, but I think she's the one that has the true understanding of it. The Child King is Thrax, but the Child King is very interesting. See, I got to do a whole... This will be in the video because there's... Duviri is a very, very difficult quest to understand what the heck's going on. But I believe it's pretty obvious. Well, that's possible too. Yeah, I mean, I guess my point is, Entradi, be it Euleria or Albrecht himself, has to have had some portion of Duviri associated with him. Or else, like I said, there would be absolutely no way that the voices that he said to her as a child would show up in Duviri. Okay, yeah. I'm done with my next video. Yeah, I don't want to say anything more. And let me be completely fair here. What I'm going to put out in this next video, we could come to find, is absolutely, unequivocally, completely wrong. But I am just basing everything, and I'm talking about years of information that they've been kind of building up, and everything that we've just gotten recently. And I just, if anybody understands how I do my videos, I look for patterns. Well, okay, so with Teshin and Duviri, this is just another... It just kind of goes back to it that he was sent there for a reason. And I think the reason was... the reason I feel like is clear now. It was to break the Drifter, or to help the Drifter in breaking through and being able to leave, because the origin system counted on it. Without the Drifter finally deciding, well, not even deciding, but finally actually making it out, the new war, half of the story never happens. In fact, Warframe's over. And I might be overthinking it a little bit. But then that's my whole channel, you know? So- do we know that Lotus didn't go to Duviri? Did anybody else? Here's another question. I'm going to hit you with this one. Did anybody else find it odd that the Lotus appears to have known about Entrati this whole time and never once mentioned anything? Not only does she know about Entrati, but she knows what's going on with what the Indifference is trying to do and everything. So, oh man, Hawkblade, I can't do it, because if I answer that second question, you're gonna get a ton of the next video. But okay, so can we agree on the concept that much of the Lotus's activity is been kind of programmed into her? I mean, that whole, New War in Duviri and Angels of the Zeraman together are a 3-piece story, if you ask me. They actually, all 3 of those quests link together. There you go. By whom? But I can't go any further, because if I go any further, that's, like I said, now we're cutting into stuff I want to present in a more cinematic way. But, so what do y'all think? We got some pretty good information today. Now, I do believe we've went over everything that's available with the ARG at the moment. But again, next Sunday, we'll do the same thing. We'll go over everything that anybody's come up with, any new developments, anything that DE releases. Just kind of go over everything, talk about it. What do you think? I'm still waiting to see Grandma from the Necrolisc. I'm going to say Wednesday I'll have the video out. That's what I'm shooting for, Wednesday this week. No, we've never really... They're very tight-lipped about the executors. That's what I was kind of hoping we'd get to see a little bit with 1999, the formation of the Orkin, because that's really what's up, That's that. I really want to see how that all occurred, and how that. I'm hoping that we get to that at some point. But no, that's right. Yeah, her husband was not. Actually, that'll be what we'll get, a double. We'll get Dark Sector in the morning, and we'll get a Lore Vid in the evening. Well, here's the thing. We definitely know that Euleria saw the man in the wall. because she had a dream about it that Lloyd makes sure to let her know that wasn't a dream. But, well, with that being said I think I'm going to take this opportunity to end today's stream. It was a blast, like always. Like I said, we'll do this again next Wednesday. I do very much appreciate you all being with me here again today. I'm actually really enjoying this, not having to play and just talk to you guys. So I'll definitely want to keep this going. But at any rate, I will talk to you on Wednesday for certain. How's that sound? Okay. Well, have a good day, everybody. Bye.